is next. Softball players in this area.
Go subscribe to our YouTube page, bFb Mavs, bFb DFW. Search it that way. And Billy says turn on notification, guys.
Yeah.
So you can get that notification when we talk, when we do the Cowboys post-game show, when we do the Mavericks post-game show. Whenever we go on there, we post something, you'll get first dibs on it.
I'll tell you right now, if the next 5 ladies that do that, they can win
we just lost that viewership. I'll be checking the demographics on that comment here when I get home tonight.
You might get like 100.
So earlier this week, you know, me and Vosh, we kind of had a back and forth text situation. Thank you for responding there, by the way.
Indeed.
We just don't see eye to eye on the situation. I know you guys were talking about it earlier, and my guy Jerry talked about it earlier, and I agreed with him because, you know, Jerry doesn't usually steer me wrong. He always steers me in the right direction. When he says, you know, we're paying a lot of money at the quarterback position right now, the starting quarterback, to where we're not vesting our interest into backup quarterback.
Not very smart.
And Tovash doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I just need to know from you, Vosh, at Tovash on Twitter. Go over and follow the account. They do some great stuff over there. God, sports, and porn. Getting on the sports category, why is the backup quarterback position so filling you when? I mean, like I said, I just believe when the backup quarterback comes in, the season's pretty much.
So you think the season? I give you 5 names real quick.
Go ahead.
And these are all backups at some point. They came into the game.
Okay.
Antonio Romo.
TR9.
They didn't win the Super Bowl though.
Thomas Brady.
Won the Super Bowl and was drafted.
Jeff Hostetler.
I don't know who that is.
Jeff Hostetler. Yeah, we can get specs on Oakland Raiders. I remember.
Giants.
Oh, that's right.
Steve Berline.
Jeff Hostetler.
Okay.
Former Dallas Cowboy. And then one Rain Dakota Prescott.
But he didn't win the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl aside.
He left off one. Nick Foles.
Big Dick Nick. 6 people, which strengthens my argument
he said
even
Big
more.
Dick Nick, so
okay.
Can you look that up? And
that was what gave him the power to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, his third leg kicked in.
We're looking at
Carson Wentz
we're getting
some tangible evidence.
Getting some
evidence.
We're getting some evidence on that. Go ahead.
Oh, you looking at my point?
No. We're trying to see if we can support that name.
Oh, you want to say he has 3 legs?
No, we're just trying to see if that name exists.
Yeah.
But if you could, please, sir. Those are some great names.
Well,
hey,
we do have it confirmed that is his nickname. We do have it confirmed.
Is it on Brazzers?
No, that's on Google.
AVN.
We found his what he did in the offseason.
Okay.
It's Petty Guana.
So if you don't mind, I mean, those are some great names you gave out, but I mean, Tom Brady and Nick Foles. What should I dare say, Steve Young? Those guys won Super Bowl.
And Steve Young. That's it.
But those guys were drafted to those teams. My thing is that, you know, like the year we had Kyle Orton, and everybody's like, Kyle Orton's got to win so we can make the playoffs. And I'm like, but Kyle Orton's not going to take us to the Super Bowl. So why does it? I immediately
gives you a chance
to do what?
I mean, you can't even try to win the Super Bowl if you don't make the playoffs, man. You gotta have a chance.
When the backup quarterback comes in, it's time to start thinking about the draft. To me, that's just me personally.
And you know what? And that's the way of how this front office thinks.
Yeah, and that's why we.
That's why Jerry's my guy.
And you know what's funny? Hell, they even have problems finding a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
In addition to finding that damn backup,
they didn't even want. They didn't find Dak.
They looked up to the last 2 starting quarterbers.
That wasn't playing. You know why
the Patriots drafted Brady late. Didn't think he was going to be playing.
Right. Okay. So regardless, here's the thing. And can I?
And Aaron Rodgers too. Back to you.
Yes, I was at that game. That was my first Cowboy game ever.
Cowboys Packers when the Packers were undefeated.
Right, and I went to see Brett Favre because it was his last year.
He got hurt,
and he got hurt like the first snap.
I was there too,
and then he ended up, and that was the last year of Texas Stadium.
Right, and Aaron Rodgers.
That was the last year of Texas Stadium.
It was like the second to last.
Second to last. Next year was the last.
Yeah, 2008.
That was the 13-3 season. 07.
That was the year.
That was T.O. doing the popcorn, and then that's my quarterback.
That was 07. Yeah.
So all those guys that we named, all those guys that we named,
after that,
only like 3 dudes out of the 9 people that I just named don't have rings. Okay.
And here's another
And
thing.
they're all backup.
But they were drafted there.
Okay,
But
but
that part don't matter.
okay, yeah, it doesn't matter how.
Well,
you
I'm
get
saying
the
like
backup quarterback.
for them to sign a guy off the street to just be like when you say like okay Josh Rosen, I'm like, but that's not gonna win you a Super Bowl if it comes back.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm gonna bring up a really good example. So you're
I
not
have
looking.
one too when you finish.
Okay, so you're looking at this. You keep looking at like, oh, if the quarterback goes down, the season's over. Okay, if it is a season-ending injury, I understand that, and I get that. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
If it's a season-ending injury and your quarterback's not coming back, then yeah, it is probably time to look at the draft. But usually, sometimes quarterbacks only get hurt maybe 1 game, 2 games. What if they get a concussion? Point in case, Troy Aikman, okay, for the Dallas Cowboys, he got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because you were there live, because you're older than all of us. Who was the quarterback from Cleveland that they brought in? Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar was not drafted by the Dallas Cowboys.
No,
he was brought in to play like 1 or 2 games to help out when Aikman was dealing with injuries.
Yeah.
And he was there and used them. And, of course, they went on to win Super Bowls. Actually, in Aikman, go watch the America's games on the Cowboys Super Bowls. Multiple times throughout all 3 of them, you see that Aikman is dealing with some kind of concussion or some kind of injury, and a backup quarterback had to come in and help him for about 1 to 2 games, including in the playoffs. Which game was it where he doesn't even remember that to bring in the backup was ready to go?
That was Washington.
I'm not talking about 1 or 2 games though.
Okay, but that,
I'm not talking about 1 or 2 games.
No, but that is the thing. 1 or 2 games might be necessary that could change your season.
Yeah, that can
And
make or break
if you don't have a capable backup, that's not good. There are multiple examples back in when Tony Romo was dealing with his injuries. Remember with the punctured lung and everything.
That's why I bought up Kyle Orton.
Yeah.
Who he signed off the street.
Right. And it helped out early on because Kyle Orton did help
We
you win.
lost to Washington blew us out 1 game. We didn't make the playoffs because of that.
Actually, are you talking about 2013? Because we beat Washington.
It might have been 13 or 14 because I remember
Romo
we were doing post game with Tashar, and Tashar was very, very, very upset.
Well, when we were doing
It's like 15 and 16.
And that was a Monday Night Football game
That
too.
was 2015, and in 2015, Romo was gone for most of the year. For
Right.
That, so
Yeah.
that was multiple games.
But they still okay, and that's more my point. When the quarterback is down for multiple games, not like 1 or 2. I ain't no idiot. I don't think that way. I'm saying for like when it's a season-ending injury, like Dak was, like I'm not looking for the backup quarterback to come in and take us to the Super Bowl.
Well, right. No. I don't think
I'm looking for him to come in there and just.
But you always want a backup.
chance.
You want
You need a
you want a good, stable backup quarterback no matter what. He's your guy to help you when things are right. Because you don't know. First of all, we don't know
What team has a good backup quarterback?
Plenty of teams have good backup.
Can you
quarterbacks.
give
We just got to go down the list and see. But
can you give me one?
I mean,
example?
Taysom Hill.
He doesn't even want to be there anymore.
No matter. He's
there.
He's
been.
He taking their
Did you see
money.
his
He's
work?
better than what we
But
have.
did you see his quote today?
No.
He says, "I want to be somewhere starting."
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, that's
Because
fine.
he feel
But
like
that's
he has
good.
potential.
Hold on, but what did he do under Drew Brees? He was a good, capable backup
He was a
quarterback.
good running. He ran the ball.
He was really
really
good
damn good.
He was a good
Okay, but
quarterback.
he ran the ball but when it was time for him to throw the football, like didn't he get tore up at the end?
Nah,
of
he
the
was throwing. He was dropping some dimes in some of them games.
And then also, that's how Drew.
Well, it doesn't
that's
matter
how-
because my guy Jameis is there to take over. So
fine,
we're not worried
but I
about
just
that.
used one example right there that
Okay,
shows.
what else you got?
Chase Daniel still
Yeah.
around.
Chase Daniel, South Lake Carroll's own, Mizzou's own Chase Daniel
Career
has made a
backup.
career
What
out of
team does he play for?
it. Josh McCown, the McCown brothers have made their entire career of being, they're the anti-Mannins because they're brothers that are quarterbacks, but
Yeah.
they're backups.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Minshew, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Before
Remember,
he
and
became a
they
star.
wanted to get rid of Gardner Minshew. right?
Fitzmagic.
Yeah, these are
It's
guys that you
magic.
need. That you. My thing is, especially with the Cowboys.
Has any of these guys won a Super Bowl?
That's
Oh,
besides
so
the
see,
point.
that's- okay.
Here's the thing, especially with the Cowboys. Let me just say this, especially with the Cowboys, there's too much offensive firepower. You cannot let your quarterback come in and be the weak link of your offense. You have to have somebody who is at least remotely capable of going out there, not throwing the game away. You have a guy out there that they know has no ability to play. You're gonna hand it to Zeke 40 times and hope that you win? No, you have to have a guy who can do something. That's why you have to have the Ryan Fitzpatricks. You have to have the Gardner Minshews. You have to have the Nick Foles type guys. Those guys, what's my guy's name? Tyrod Taylor. Guys like that. You have to have those guys out there who can play as a backup quarterback for you or whatever. I brought it up a while back. I know he's been injured and not doing much, but Robert Griffin. He's much more capable than what we have.
He's
as
in the
backup.
booth now, so don't even talk about him
Right.
anymore. He's done.
But I'm just saying, you have to have guys who can come in and step in and fill a role, man. Right now, if
Man,
that
it
goes
seems
down
like-
for 2 games, we got 2 losses.
Us three just took turns tag teaming you. And
I mean, seriously.
Pause.
I mean, well, consider this
Big
in
pause.
a league where 1 or 2 games can either cause you to either win a division or lose it or playoff seeding, whatever. My thing is, I don't want to go in as a Cowboys fan and feel like, Jesus, Dak is out for these next 3 games because of shoulder injury, foot, whatever. Damn, we're finna go 0-3 because we have no chance because we have nothing capable. That's why you go out and sign a Josh Rosen. Who cares? He's better than what you have. You have to have something out there. You're not gonna
Well,
spend
then
all
it
much
felt like
money.
they needed him.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. Because we think Cooper Rush is it. That's not it.
We don't think Cooper Rush is it. We just think that Dak Prescott. We don't want Dak Prescott to go down. And you hear?
Well, I don't want
We're
to go
spending
down
a
either.
lot of money at this position right now that we can't afford. We don't even want to think about backup.
well, then
quarterback.
I will talk to Jerry and ask him.
Well,
then.
first off, you don't need to be talking
I
to Jerry,
can-
but go ahead.
Yeah, well, I would talk to Jerry one-on-one
Tough, man.
and say, "Hey, Jerry, well, if that's the case, well, why aren't you doing a good enough job right now protecting at all costs? Because you're going with Tyler Biotis as your center. I know when Travis Frederick retired, that was a big
That threw you
shock.
off, yeah.
It threw you off, but you still haven't addressed it yet. And you saw what Tyler Biotis did last season, and then you saw him from camp to the regular season, and now this training camp, he hasn't improved." And then you're trying to do this weird experiment with Connor Williams coming in
the
and trying to be
middle of the
and trying to snap
Excuse
the
me.
ball.
Why is that on Jerry? That should be on the coach.
The general manager should be in charge of the
Your
ones
personnel.
bringing in the thing. He's
Your
your
personnel.
GM.
You said,
So,
but you
general
told me
manager-
Steven.
Okay,
me Steven does.
Steven and Jerry. I'll talk to them both. I'll talk to the entire Jones
Well,
family.
first off, Steve.
Bring in
Well,
Charlotte.
first off,
I'll talk to Charlotte.
Well, first off, you don't need to be talking to her either. First off, Jerry needs to tell you what he told Sean Sharif. Well, if you shut up, I'll tell you. Number one. And number 2, like he told Corey Majors, listen, I'm not in the mood for any of your shit. You better get your shit together.
I'm just letting Jerry know
He
that
must not had that sausage breath, that little breakfast.
I don't know what it was that
That's
morning, but
yeah.
he told Corey, listen, I'm not in the mood for your shit. You better get it
he didn't
together.
have enough
Stop your
fiber.
jacking
one.
around. Yeah.
That wasn't bleeped out either.
Yeah.
It's starting to make sense. Like y'all just brought up Jerry being the GM, and if you're a Cowboy fan at home,
Keep a score.
just start going back and like looking at the last 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And the backup quarterbacks that were behind Romo, they were behind Dak, even Aikman, like even Quincy Carter, besides Romo,
Jay Jeezy.
like they have done a piss poor job. And I think that bro, like if you really, really, really gave a shit about the backup quarterback, you wouldn't go get guys like
Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton. You would go
Ryan
get guys
Leaf.
like Brandon Wheaton and people like that.
Matt
But
Castle.
who else is out there? Bill Parcells told you a long ass time ago, you can't just dial 1-800 and find a quarterback. Right? And so those are at Jerry's disposal. So I kind of I'm getting mad at him. I'm like, you maybe want to go find some people, but at the same time, who the fuck is out there?
Exactly. Just draft
You
him.
know what I'm saying? But you can't draft a quarterback when you got a young quarterback too, because now you're RG3 and Kirk Cousins all over again.
Well, that's what I was trying to explain to Mr. Zai earlier. We don't need this whole, backup quarterback coming in and playing good, because you know what's going to happen? People like him are going to be calling for Dak Prescott's
But that's
job.
a good problem to have.
That's not a good problem to have.
That's an excellent problem
We're
to have.
spending a lot of money at this
Hey,
position.
hey,
We don't
hey,
need any.
let me tell you something.
We don't need. I don't need Dak out there
If you're so
trying to
confident-
overcome. Excuse me, sir. I'll let you speak.
Really not.
We don't need Dak out there trying to overcompensate and doing stuff that he doesn't need to because he's worried about freaking Josh Rosen coming in here and
If
taking
you're
the
the
spot.
better player, just play
Wow,
football.
because EA said that he was going to be better than him, and he died on a hill that he's going to be better than him. We don't need Dak
I
Prescott.
would have died on that
I'm
hill as
dead,
well.
I'm dead.
Well, both of you dead.
Yeah, we are.
It
We're
is
dead.
both
We're
of you
dead.
dead.
We're dead.
It is
Well,
what
all
it is.
three of us are, because that's crazy what you just said.
What?
You basically just said, hey, Dak, here's the whole franchise. Good luck.
Sorry,
Well, they
we're
already
not
did.
we're not going to challenge
They already
you
did.
at
Here's
all.
the contract they gave him. This is the franchise you
Fine, fuck the contract. I still need somebody as good as him behind
Listen,
him.
Jerry has it in his mind.
Why are you
If
so
Dak
worried?
Prescott
Why
goes
are you so
down,
worried?
if Dak Prescott goes
Why are
down,
you worried?
this thing's over.
Why are you
Yeah, if
worried?
Dak is
It
that
should-
good, it's not even a good.
See, you're not that. Are you not that confident in your quarterback that
That's
he
what it
can't?
sounds like.
First
that-
off, you're
that-
trying to twist my words, and I don't appreciate
No,
you
I'm
trying
not
to do that,
twisting.
sir.
I'm just inferring what you're going off, because if as somebody who's very capable of their quarterback and very confident,
They're not
who
worried.
cares about it?
But that's not what I'm.
I was confident that Tony Romo had the job, but I was wrong.
First off, that's not what I said. At
I
all.
was confident with Romo.
But that's not what I said at all. I am saying that we Jerry doesn't want or doesn't need that because he spent a lot of money on Dak Prescott. He doesn't need people like you and your buddies over there at the radio station and other radio stations in Dallas and other radio stations in town drawing up headlines. Oh, well, this guy, you know, just like they did with Garrett and Wade Phillips, you know, that whole situation. We had media stirring it up. Oh, Jason Garrett's gearing his way up to be the next head coach. We don't need a backup quarterback. Oh, he's gearing his way up to be the next starting
you're
quarterback.
like going really dramatic you're going in soap opera like storylines.
Why do I go soap opera? Because that's what happens.
No, because honestly, we do need a good backup quarterback. I'm sorry. To be the backup, to be ready.
To be capable in case that goes down.
You know why they have a vice president of the United States? Because if the president dies, you need a good vice president ready to go.
Shout out to Miss Harris.
Mike Pence wasn't a good vice president, so what's your point?
It don't matter. He committed suicide. He committed political suicide.
I'm glad you said political. Right, but you was that a good backup quarterback?
So as America, we're counting.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Mike Pence was the Danucci of vice president.
Okay.
We wanted a new one.
And you know what? He turned his own playbook in. Without being asked to do so.
Exactly. Listen, I understand where you guys are coming from, but just like Jerry said, we're not doing any of this, guys. We're not exhausting any of our resources here to bring in a good backup quarterback.
What resources do you have?
Yeah, we don't need. If we had them, we're not using them. We're not doing it.
What resource? He made a good point. I'm sorry. You keep bringing up resources. It does not cost that much money to go get you a backup.
Whatever money we have, it's invested.
It's a 1 year. No,
you're wasting money on certain players or whatever. So I mean, hell, why not go out?
I don't know about that. But Jerry said
you do know that's not a backup quarterback's not going to cost you like $30 million a year. It's a 1 year. It's a 1 year deal. $10 million, maybe $5 million, maybe $4 million.
Well, that's not true because if he goes out there and does good, guess what? Now we're gonna pay him still.
No, we're not.
That's not how it works.
No, you just go somewhere else.
Hey, you know what's funny? He's not doing a bid. This is not a bid.
This is not a bid.
Usually he does a bid. This is not a bid.
I'm really just perplexed. Are you that scared for Dak Prescott?
I'm not scared for Dak Prescott.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know you're.
I'm telling you how me and my guy Jerry think. We're not exhausting
his adopted brother now, and you're part of the family. And all that, I get that, but
we can't cover for him like that.
No, I'm sorry.
Is Mr. Prescott watching?
No, it has nothing to do with that. Jerry, my guy Jerry told you this morning on the radio, we're just not doing it. We have all our eggs in the Dak Prescott basket because that's
the dumbest.
It is, and that's why we can't win because as soon as God forbid anything happens to Dak Prescott,
it already did.
We're done.
It did already,
and you're doing nothing to address it.
Right, and you signed with the Red Rifle. And he gave you nothing.
I'd love to have Andy Dalton back now.
You said the season was over, right? When Dak's leg crunched or whatever, and the season was over, and you were happy that the season was over, right? Because they didn't have a quarterback, right?
So I don't know. I don't remember being happy.
Then that would make you a team tanker, right?
Well, I don't know about a team tanker, but
I mean, you're pointing that way. We over here like salvage the season.
Especially in the sorry ass division that we were in, man. There's no reason.
And we didn't even win in one division game.
But we lost a lot of players, though. I'm just talking about all things being even. If Dak Prescott just goes out for 2 or 3 games, I would much rather have.
Okay, well, that's good. You can have him for one. But I'm saying if he's out for a season, like there's no backup quarterback that's getting ready to come in here and take you to Super Bowl.
Listen, you keep saying Super Bowl. We're just talking about trying to salvage week to week. Right. That's it.
That's how talking
about. Jerry says there is no week to week.
Listen.
There is no week to week.
Here's the problem. You do this. You already did this with week 1.
You're thinking in grandiose things. You put all or nothing. I mean, like, goodness. Football is a week to week sport.
Great.
Okay.
Great. But if my quarterback is out for the whole season, there's not a backup quarterback that's going to come in here and take me to the Super Bowl.
You know what happens, right? You go get a Cooper Rush, right? He comes in for a game. And then during that week, you're on the horn, calling up everybody.
Yeah, you probably are.
You know, everybody from the past.
Yeah.
You have a quarterback competition during the week. That's what happens. And then you sign another veteran quarterback. You let that veteran quarterback and your current backup duke it out. The veteran quarterback usually will win, and then you keep rolling, bro. You don't stop playing football.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you an exception for that. Tom Brady and Nick Foles. You know how they both got to where they're at? Because their quarterbacks went down right before the playoffs or something like that. That's when it's understandable. But when it's a full season,
actually, it was Tom Brady was the majority of the season.
His first year.
And then I think
the second in the middle of the season.
It was about mid, close to
mid season.
It was 8 games.
That's when
8 games,
yeah.
okay.
And then he got in the play, and then guess
and then
what?
Drew Brees,